Once in a village where the fields met the woods and time passed like mist through branches, people lived with the land, not above it. They knew the trees by name, they planted with the moon, they sang songs to the roots and left honey at the base of old oaks. And though they did not speak of him, often, they all knew of the Green Man. He was never seen clearly, only glimpsed. Perhaps in the moment a leaf stirred when there was no wind, or in the pattern of bark that almost looked like a face watching. He was spring and rot, growth and decay, the wild spirit of all things that bloom and die and bloom again. The elders said he walked when the world forgot how to listen, and they warned, "Pray to him when you plant, but never say his name aloud." In the village of Blackmare, where the fields had turned to dust and fever stalked the beds of children, lived a boy named Elaric, quiet, dream-eyed, gentle. He was the carpenter's son, more familiar with the trees than with other boys. He listened to the wind the way others listen to their parents. He believed in things not seen, but when the blight came and his father's breath grew shallow, Elaric's gentle heart grew desperate. He stood at the edge of the forest beneath a twisted elm and whispered, not with words, but with everything in him, "Take me, not him. Let something grow where something breaks." And the forest listened. That night, something rooted itself in Alaric's body. He woke with bark in the creases of his palms, dreams of vines crawling into his throat, leaves curling behind his ears like secrets. And when he returned home, his father stood upright at the hearth, smiling, whole, as if death had never come. But Elaric had changed. Each spring, moss bloomed across his back. Each winter, his breath misted green. Birds followed him. Foxes stared too long. And where he walked, the flowers bloomed out of season. The villagers watched, first with wonder, then with fear. No one questioned why the orchards bear fruit in snow. They just left baskets at his door, offerings or apologies. Years passed, the world grew louder, the old song faded. The villagers no longer touched soil with reverence. They no longer walked barefoot or sang to the trees. They stopped leaving honey. They spoke of trade, not tides, of gold, not gardens. They built with stone and iron and felled the trees faster than they could grow. Elaric, who no longer aged, watched it all, and the green man within him stirred. He did not dance with the wind, he did not whisper to the flowers. He stood still, listening. He listened as birds fell silent, as rivers shrank, as graves grew. Until one spring morning, Elaric stood in the village square, his eyes green as the oldest forest, and said, "You have forgotten me, so I will remind you." The forest rose. Vines cracked the stones of the chapel. Roots shattered homes. Ash trees walked in the night. The villagers begged Alaric to stop, but he only looked at them and said, "You've made me your myth. You fed me with stories, and now I am the truth." And truth grows deep. They tried to burn him, tied to a post, oil at his feet. The fire caught his robes, but not his skin. His mouth opened, not in scream, but in bloom. Pollen spilled into the air. It choked them. It grew inside them. From the priest's eyes sprouted violets. From their lungs, dandelions. From their ribs, ivy. Elaric stood in the smoke, unburned. "I was man. I am earth now. You poisoned the land, so I became its memory." There is no village of Blackmere now, only forest. The map makers stopped drawing its roads centuries ago. But if you walk deep enough, past where the air smells of wet earth and ghosts, you may find a path where flowers bloom in snow, where trees bow, where something watches, a figure crowned in vines, skin barked and blooming, eyes like moss, endless and ancient. And if you meet him, do not run, do not lie, do not beg. He sees beneath your skin, he smells your forgetting, he listens for the sounds of your roots. He does not kill, he reclaims, not with cruelty, with consequences, because nature does not forget. It forgives slowly and reclaims in silence. We do not own the earth, we are its children, its druids, its stories. And if we forget that, the Green Man will return, not as vengeance, as memory, as balance, as the wind that waits beneath the soil, waiting to bloom.